In this video, I want to show you how you can fix your gut in 30 days or less. If you struggle with mental health problems, or if you struggle with your skin health, your digestive health, your metabolic health, your hormonal health, your overall health, it may be that your gut health is the root cause. The good news is we can fix our gut very quickly if we add the right things to our diet, but we've got to know what the right things are. All the top gut health experts like this guy, as well as this guy right here, they all agree that the best way to fix a damaged gut is a diversity of plants, more specifically a diversity of fiber. In order for the good bugs that are fighting for our health and our guts to thrive, we need to give them lots of different types of fiber. As we reduce the diversity of plants in our diet, we start to lose the diversity of species in our gut. And as they die off, we get sick and start to have health problems. So to fix our gut, we can focus on a greater diversity of plants, whole veggies, whole fruits, seeds, herbs, different types of fiber.
Like in the 1960s and 1970s. Notice how you can hardly even see anyone who's overweight, and if they are, they're definitely not morbidly obese. So what's the deal? Humans haven't changed, jobs haven't changed, it's not like everybody in this picture was a farmer. What changed is the dietary advice. To stop eating healthy fats and start filling ourselves up with processed carbohydrates. That advice has created $1 trillion processed food industry. And what do we have to show for it? In 1970, the #1 cause of death was infectious disease by far. And in 2015, circulatory disease, i.e. heart disease caused by being overweight, type 2 diabetes, and insulin resistance, is triple that of infectious disease. So the next time somebody gives you that typical health advice like eat less fat or eat less and exercise more, think again. Check out my channel or the link in my bio if you want to figure out how we're going to fix this thing. This is what the beach looked like.
Look how our modern food has changed.
This is a June plum. They grow wild and uncultivated here in Panama.
The flesh is tart and chewy, high in fiber, low in sugar.
This is a plum from the grocery store. Humans have been selectively breeding these for over 2,000 years to increase sweetness, increase size, and reduce fiber content.
The flesh is sweet and tender, higher in sugar, lower in fiber.
Look at the difference in how much is seed and how much is flesh. Now listen, I'm not saying that these are the same fruit or that this one necessarily came from this one. All I'm saying is there's a difference between fruits that grow wild and fruits that we've been cultivating for thousands of years. I'll link some studies in the comments if you want to learn more about how our fruit has changed. And on my channel, we'll keep exploring how our food has changed. See you there.
Look how our modern food has changed.
Sugar Dumpling is asking for a video analysis of the Feel Great system. I'm actually going to do an unboxing and show you exactly what you get when you order the protocol. I'm also going to show you a super embarrassing before and after photo. When you order the Feel Great system, it arrives in a box like this. It comes with 60 packets of Balance, 30 packets of U1017. You get one of these really cool diamond bottles. And when you do the subscription, it comes with a free product. This month, it's the Bone Fortify product. Right here on the lid of the box are some QR codes with all the instructions in both English and Spanish. This lemon flavored U1017 seems to be the most popular. I'm actually drinking some U1017 right now. Today, I've put a little bit of lemon and some mint in my U1017. Let me tell you what it does. I've done lots and lots of videos on the science behind intermittent fasting and how it's an amazing way to boost insulin sensitivity and burn excess body fat. But if you're a snacker and you love food as much as I do, you may find intermittent fasting to be a little bit difficult. When you're fasting, you're not starving, you're just switching fuel sources. You're burning body fat for fuel instead of food for fuel. When we go to sleep at night, we're fasting and our insulin levels are low. When we wake up, we can extend the fast and continue to burn our love handles for breakfast. Snacking will interrupt the fat burning process. U1017 is a great way to avoid interrupting the fast. So every day I've been waking up and starting my morning with a U1017. I sip it, one sip every 5 to 10 minutes, and with this, I don't feel like snacking. The U1017 is made by a manufacturer here in the United States. It suppresses hunger and cravings by using stored fat for fuel. It boosts mood, mental, and physical performance. There's no crash, and it's non-addictive. U1017 is the most abundant source of chlorogenic acid that I can find. And chlorogenic acid is a novel insulin sensitizer that potentiates insulin action similar to the therapeutic action of metformin. Now let me show you what the Balance does. Where do I begin? I've done lots of videos on my page about Balance. I've got videos of doctors here in the US who have started recommending Balance frontline to anybody that's struggling with their weight or their blood sugar. Both Balance and the U1017 are listed in the PDR. The PDR is a guide that doctors in the United States use to recommend medication and natural alternatives to medication. Every single pharmaceutical company in the United States would give their left nut to own the patent on Balance. The Cleveland Clinic did a study on Balance, the #1 heart hospital in the world. They said such a product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis and potentially decrease the need and/or dose for lipid-lowering prescription drugs. The University of Sydney showed that taking Balance before meals reduced blood sugar by 20 to 30%. Balance, you simply mix it with water and take it before your meals. I've done lots of videos on this. Balance and U1017 together are helping me get rid of my love handles and my belly fat. The stuff costs a fortune on Amazon, and so I put a link here on my page. This is the exact same link I use, and it's the cheapest price direct from the manufacturer. Today I'm going to show everybody how I've been losing my belly fat by focusing on insulin resistance. Now, I have not been counting calories. I have not eliminated carbs, and I've not been doing any extreme exercise. I'll also show you my before and after pictures so far. Now, one of the best things about what I'm doing is you can do this for free. In full disclosure, there are a couple of food-based products that make this much, much easier, which I have been purchasing. So for those that are interested, I'll give you information on those as well. If you've been watching my TikTok videos, you'll see that this is the exact same system that Matt was on, and Matt was a type 2 diabetic for 14 years before he found this. I've also talked about another friend named Scott who lost 70 pounds and got off all of his medications. Both of them were struggling with a lot of the symptoms of insulin resistance. Now, if we can address the insulin resistance, a lot of the nasty symptoms will take care of themselves, right? Like for example, if you have belly fat like I did, that can completely disappear when you focus on insulin resistance. So how do we do that? The science behind the approach I'm about to show you has been done by scientists and researchers who are far smarter than I am. I've already done TikTok videos on these, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. If you're interested, you can go look. Thousands of years before we started eating 3 meals a day, 6 meals a day, or snacking all the time, we were fasting and feeding. When we're in the fasting state, we're actually not starving. We're just switching fuel sources. We're using fat for fuel. Most of us have hundreds of thousands of calories of available fat for fuel, and our bodies feel great when they're burning fat. In order to accomplish this, we need to try and keep our glucose and insulin levels low. To do that, we need to avoid snacking. Now, this can be very, very difficult for some people. I'm going to show you how to make it a lot easier. When we're in the feeding state, it's okay to enjoy good food. We still want to try to avoid glucose and insulin spikes, and there's ways to do this naturally. We also want to avoid overeating. Again, this is the hard part, and I'll show you how to make it easier. This process can be adjusted for just about any lifestyle or schedule. For me, I wake up and I'm fasting. I keep my insulin levels low, and I'm burning my fat for fuel. To control glucose and insulin levels, prior to meals, I focus on soluble and insoluble plant fibers. I have nice, big, substantial meals that prioritize protein, healthy fat, and of course, fiber. This keeps my insulin levels in check so that I can go back to burning fat as soon as possible. If you've seen my videos, you've seen that I do eat carbs, and that's why it's so important that I get the soluble fiber pre-meal. For dinner, I do the same thing again. Now, while fasting at the beginning of the day and between meals, there is no snacking. Snacking is the enemy. Water is great. So if you want to do this for free, water only, and get lots of fiber, prioritize protein and healthy fat between meals. This can really help you. I do use some products to help me with this. There's a product called U1017, and by taking the U1017, I'm able to avoid snacking. It's very sustaining. It's wonderful stuff. I've done lots of videos. You can see those videos. Because it's not realistic for me to eat a bunch of veggies and fibers before I eat my regular meal, I supplement. So Balance is a patented fiber blend that helps you avoid glucose and insulin spikes. I usually have another U1017 throughout the day so that I can avoid snacking between meals. The products have helped me avoid snacking, avoid overeating, and kept my insulin and glucose levels low. It's the best system I'm aware of for insulin resistance, and it's the only one that I know of that's guaranteed. He never does tell us what he's doing. He's the ultimate gatekeeper. Whoever you are, I want to thank you for making this comment. The last thing I want to do is come off as gatekeeping. I am somebody that has been on a diet or off a diet most of my adult life. When I was in high school, I was on diets. I've always been a yo-yo dieter. My weight has gone up and down. And if I'm not on a diet, I am gaining weight. Until I found this protocol. It helps me with things that I struggle with, like overeating, like snacking, eating past the point of being full, and eating the wrong foods, sweet tooth and salt tooth cravings. So this is how the protocol works. It's very simple. Instead of eating breakfast each day, I skip 1 meal a day and I fast. And while I'm fasting, I am sipping this. This is something called U1017. It's got more chlorogenic acid in it than anything on the planet, but that's all blah, blah, blah. Bottom line, when I sip this, I can fast forever. It makes me forget about food. For somebody that struggles with snacking and overeating, this helps me cut out so many empty calories. The other half of it is before my meals, when I'm not fasting, I mix up a blend of plant fiber. This has been studied by some of the top organizations or institutions in the world. There's more than a dozen clinical studies on it. It works fantastically. There's not a blend of fiber on the planet that I can find that works as well. So you simply mix it up with water, It's pretty good tasting. This one's lime flavored. There's lime, there's pink lemonade, there's orange. It's sweetened with stevia. And you mix it up with water just like that. And you drink this before your meals. One before lunch, one before dinner. 2 a day, every day. And when I drink this before my meals, it fills me up. It keeps my blood sugar in check, my insulin levels in check. It helps with cholesterol, triglycerides. The combination of fasting and fiber has been a total game changer for me. Now you'll see people that are talking about this protocol. I want to make sure you know that when you order it, you can get a discounted price and lock in that discount forever. Not just on your first order, but when you order through my link, you will lock in that discount on all subsequent orders. The manufacturer who makes this, and I don't make it, I pay for it just like anybody else. I don't even get a discount on it beyond the discount that I'm giving you. But every single time you order it, you'll get the discount. The manufacturer guarantees it. You can try it risk-free for 90 days. And if you're not 100% satisfied, matter of fact, when you go back to your doctor, your same doctor, and you do your blood work again, if it's not drastically, measurably better, if your doctor doesn't look at it and say, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Just get a refund. The manufacturer is a big company and the product is amazing. To get the discount, go to my TikTok page, Trenty Talk, and right here it says just a guy addicted to delicious food who's trying to stay healthy. And when you click the link right there underneath it, it will bring up a page where you can get the discount and lock in the discount for life. If you can't see the link, go ahead and send me a direct message and I'll direct message it to you. Some people on TikTok cannot see the link, but you can go through the checkout here and order the protocol. My page is full of success stories from people who have been on this protocol. These are people who found out about it from watching my TikTok videos. For many, it's helped them reverse their PCOS, their type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, etc. The protocol is listed in the physician's desk reference, and in my pinned videos, you can learn more about the products and even hear from some doctors that have been referring them. What are you consuming liquids-wise to suppress hunger? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm 3.5 days in, about 88 hours in right now, to a 5-day fast. That's 5 days with absolutely no food, no snacks whatsoever. I typically don't do extended fasts like this. Usually I just fast through breakfast. I skip breakfast. I do intermittent fasting. I've done it for several months now. It has completely changed my life, but for a long time, it was impossible for me. I would cheat all the time. I do really well for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then I'd fall off the wagon and start snacking again. Also, after I would get done with my fast through the morning, I was having super huge jumbo meals for lunch, which were completely, defeating the purpose of the fast. When I was fasting before and I would end up falling off the wagon and cheating, I was doing water only. And water's very satiating, but I just needed something with some taste and something that would make me feel less hungry. Now, these days, everybody's taking these drugs, these injectables like Ozempic and Wegovy, which don't get me started on those. One of the main things that they're trying to do with those drugs is increase GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide, right? But there's natural ways, natural things you can consume during a fast, which won't break your fast and which will help you feel extremely full and kill your appetite. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is chlorogenic acid. Chlorogenic acid occurs naturally in coffee, in tea, in apples and plums and things like that. It's also found in the yerba mate plant, which has become very, very popular. I want to talk about that in a second, but chlorogenic acid is a novel insulin sensitizer that potentiates insulin action similar to the therapeutic action of metformin. So for somebody who's trying to become more insulin sensitive, chlorogenic acid could be a game changer. Now, there is a little bit of chlorogenic acid in coffee. There's not much, but there is some. And most people think that they like coffee so much because of caffeine. Nah, it's the chlorogenic acid. The wide range of potential health benefits of chlorogenic acid, including its anti-diabetic, anti-carcinogenic, anti-inflammatory, and anti-obesity impacts, may provide a non-pharmacological, no drugs, right, and non-invasive approach in the treatment or prevention of some chronic diseases. Now, most people look for chlorogenic acid in yerba mate, and you can find yerba mate products all over gas stations and grocery stores right now. I don't use any of them. And that's because while these products do have a little bit of yerba mate in them, they also have tons of caffeine, tons of sugar, and a very small amount of chlorogenic acid. Now, it's true that yerba mate may stimulate the body's production of GLP-1, just like the Ozempic and the Wegovy, only all natural. But because the yerba mate products that are sold in gas stations and stores have very, very small amounts of chlorogenic acid and lots of caffeine and sugar, they simply aren't as effective for most people. U1017 is something you can drink that's full of chlorogenic acid. It has 375 times as much chlorogenic acid as yerba mate products do. And truthfully, it has made fasting super easy for me. Unfortunately, the stuff's a fortune on Amazon right now, but I have a direct link to the manufacturer that I've personally been using, and I'm happy to share it with anybody who wants it. 11 years ago, scientists had proof of a solution for obesity, type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, high cholesterol, and a bunch of other health conditions related to insulin resistance. But guess what? It didn't make any news headlines. In fact, hardly anybody even saw it. I'm going to show you the proof and the research because if you know somebody who's struggling with any of these problems, this information could change or even save their life. Now, if you notice that you have skin tags around your neck or head, face area, or if you've got darker skin, darker pigmentation around the back of the neck, perhaps under the armpits, or especially if you have a lot of belly fat, a protruding belly, you're going to want to listen to what I'm about to show you. These are all signs and symptoms of insulin resistance. If you have any of those signs or symptoms, I want to first tell you that you're not alone. 1 out of 3 American adults are pre-diabetic, and 90% of them have no idea that they even have it. If they're not careful, this will quickly become type 2 diabetes and will completely control their lives. There was a science company in the United States of America that patented a very unique and potent blend of soluble and insoluble fibers from very specific plants. This included phytosterols as well as plant nutrients from plants like chrysanthemum, which were known to naturally reduce cholesterol levels. But what they found was that it did something else as well. The study was done at the University of Sydney, the home of the glycemic index. These scientists know as much or more than any scientist in the world about obesity, blood sugar, and insulin control. In a controlled clinical study, it was found that drinking 1 packet of the fiber formula prior to eating reduced blood sugar levels by as much as 20%, and drinking 2 packets by as much as 28%. Reducing blood sugar by that much naturally has critical implications for anybody who's trying to lose weight, prevent type 2 diabetes, or perhaps even reverse type 2 diabetes. People who participated in the study also noted that they felt less hungry and had more energy throughout the day. And those who had extra weight to lose also lost their extra weight. Now, had this discovery been made and had this formula been patented by one of the big drug companies, it would already be common knowledge. But that's not the way the world works, is it? But the good news is it's now available in about 20 different countries around the world and will soon be available, hopefully, everywhere. Since there's no magic to it and it's pure science-based, the manufacturer also gives a 90-day money-back guarantee. So if somebody uses it properly, they will see it works and they can prove it with a blood test that they do with their doctor. This is my friend named Scott. He was a type 2 diabetic for over 20 years. He lost 70 pounds and got off all of his medications. If you want to research further, I put a link on my page with more information that you can read about. I'm not a doctor, but I've personally been using this every single day, and I can tell you it's helped me achieve and maintain a healthy weight.